Hello and welcome to Giant Mess, a super sloppy sports and entertainment podcast that's hosted by a giant mess. That's me, the real cinch, Neal Lynch. I'm a former fourth-string college quarterback and mediocre middle relief pitcher who earned himself a film and media studies degree. And now I'm a single dad who loves to talk Giants football, Mets baseball, movies, TV, and comedy. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the car accident I got into, a little fender bender there, my experience attending a job fair at a mall, going to vocational rehab, toxic parenting phrases. So without further ado, let us get it started up in here. All right, I got into a car accident. This is my first car accident since, I want to say 2018, October 2018. That was when I was coming from trying to leave my appointment at an eye doctor. And came to a stop, looked both ways, decided to press the accelerator, and got swiped right across the face. So that was a good way to start the high school reunion night. That was 2018. So yeah, 7 years, about 7 years, give or take. Last accident before that, before 2018. Officially or unofficially? If we're talking unofficially, officially, I don't think I ever really, none of the accidents have been reported. Am I incriminating myself with hit and run charges? No. It's just, when I first got it's not even my driver's license, my driver's permit, maybe. I got super excited to go out to meet my friends and decided to back out of the garage so quickly. Instead took off the side view mirror. And that was that. Not going out that night or for a bunch of nights after that. And then I gave a little bump-bump-a-roo twice. Once in high school while leaving the lot. Just trying to be a goof, class clown, live up to that rep. And so I was probably looking to the side, making funny faces, and then I bumped the car in front of me. Happened to be a girl that I had a massive crush on. So in the movies, that would be like a meet cute, and then we'd go on dates, and then we would be sweethearts and whatnot. But this ain't the movies, homie. And then the other time was down at the shore when I was living down there. In 2002, when the Nets were in the finals, NBA finals against the Lakers. That song was like, the Nets are back. Gonna get Kobe again, get Shaq. The Nets are back. To the tune of, yeah, you know the tune. I can't, it's so graphic. I can't get into it on this. So that was a little bump-bumperoo. Just tapping on the bumper of the car in front of me. And luckily they were like, you know what? There's nothing there. I get out. I look, there's nothing there. Let's just go our separate ways. We don't need to get the authorities involved. This one was, can't even remember where I was coming from, but it was from the south, going towards Mercer County Park for this food festival. And there's this weird intersection where it's not your traditional T intersection. It's on a slant, and I'm trying to make a right. So there's a stop sign. Car stops at the stop sign in front of me. I stop behind that car. You have to look way back behind you. So it's not just a casual turn to the left. You have to turn your entire head, entire neck to look backwards to see who's coming. And there were two motorcycles side by side coming down the road. Reminded me of the movie, what was it called? Old Hogs or something like that. Old Hogs, like Tim Allen. Going so slow. They were not going fast whatsoever. And I was like, all right. In my head, I just thought, car in front of me, she gone, right? She saw them coming very slowly and she took off. I'm going to go after the motorcycles just to make sure. So I let the motorcycles pass. And as I am turning my head back towards the road, I'm pressing the accelerator and crunch city. And I was thrown for a friggin' loop-de-loop. I was like, what? Did someone try and pass me on the right? They got impatient with me waiting for the hogs to go by. And like, I just turned into them as they were trying to pass me. Did I hit them? Like, what did I hit? It turns out, no, it was the car that was in front of me. How this is possible, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, because it was like I was basically directly right behind the car in front of me. So how my front right panel and wheel hit the car's back left panel makes zero sense to me. So she got out, the driver got out. I guess there was an older lady in the car and a younger son. Just looked like a mom. And immediately on the phone with the police. Just like, yep, he hit me. What kind of car? She's asking me, what kind of car is this? And I'm like, still trying to like get my bearings. She's just already like, oh yeah, Mazda, white Mazda CX-5. Here's the license plate number. Here's the address, blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, wait, whoa. Can we just talk a little bit about this? And there was damage to her car. We both had white cars. The damage on her car, not as obvious. The damage on my car was pretty obvious. And then I went to the passenger side door to open it to try and just find out and figure out where the hell my registration, all the necessary paperwork you need to hand to the police in these kind of situations, just trying to figure that out. And as I open the door, I just hear like, I was just like, opening the gates of hell. Banshees everywhere, screeching, screaming. What a disaster. So cop came, and I immediately knew, because I had watched one of those videos online of like a guy talking to a bunch of youths about what to do if you get pulled over by the police. And he's like, roll down all your windows right away so that they can see into your car and they know there's no danger. So I did that, and hoping that he would take pity on me, because he saw my daughter, 6-year-old daughter, in the back seat, in her booster seat. And he was like, are you okay? Is she okay? You okay? And my daughter's just like, it's the cops, run. So he's like, license and registration. I'm like, this is going to be good. Well, at least I have my license. I had, no joke, every registration I've had for the past 4 to 5, maybe even more years, except the current registration. The insurance card, I thought I had that somewhere. No dice. I tore my car apart looking for that. Eventually, I just went, I think I had to go look through my email. I think I went to the USAA app or website, and I was just like able to show him on my phone. But yeah, he must have been super pissed about that entire stop. He's like, this should be an in and out. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. 5 minutes max. And I'm still here looking at this deadbeat dad losing control of his life. So yeah, that was a good hour. It felt like an hour, maybe bleeding into a second hour of just trying to get this all straightened out. And so eventually, I'm standing there and I'm just like, this is not what I needed right now. This is like the last thing that I could have needed in this moment, given my current situation. Unemployed, ran out of unemployment benefits, just rampaging through my savings, like just slashing and burning through the savings like it's a freaking jungle and I got a machete, just hacking and just draining my savings nonstop. And this was not going to do me any favors. And so he's like, yeah, so, okay, it's your fault. You're at fault. And I'm just like, wish there were some witnesses here to say like, hey, because the truck, the cars behind us, they just immediately hauled ass out of there. Like they're probably late for something, or they're like, I've got a warrant out for me, a bench warrant. So they were gonzo. They didn't wait around to get questioned by nobody. And So, but I wish there was a witness there to just say, hey, the driver in front of him should have gone and didn't. Because I think if there was a camera there with footage, I guarantee you would see that this woman should have gone, didn't go, and now I got to pay the price. So, yeah, that sucked big time. And it completely put me in a funk for the rest of the day, the rest of the week. I was just like, oh my God. I was supposed to pick up a friend to go up to Block Island. And I'm like, this is the first time that I'm driving this friend. And what is their reaction going to be when they see me pull up with a massive dent in the front right panel? Like, you know what? I'm going to Uber. That's a 5-hour, 6-hour Uber. Yeah, I'm going to Uber. Dude, get away. Step away. So that sucked. Taking it to the collision place and the rent-a-car. I mean, luckily, that's a racket right there. I think if you're looking for a money-making scheme, get rich, all you got to do is open up a car rental place directly next to a collision repair place. It's just like easy peasy business coming your way. And I remember when I went to go pick up the rental car. So at least the insurance covered a good portion of it. The total ended up being like $2,700, of which I paid $1,000. One of my friends was saying, don't pay it. Just don't pay it. I mean, not don't pay it, but don't let insurance pay it. Because if insurance pays it, then your insurance goes up and then blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I think I'm willing to take that chance on a monthly basis, have it a little bit higher than have to pay $2,700 out the gate in one lump sum. So I ended up filing a claim with insurance, and they paid for, $1,700 of the $2,700. Went to pick up the car next door. They gave me what seemed to be, I don't know if it's a 2025 or 2024, but it seemed like a brand new Mitsubishi Outlander, which I don't have much familiarity with. I don't know very well, but damn, this car is awesome. and the whole time I'm thinking, is it like I was coming off Memorial Day weekend, so I was in shambles, like I was a noodle. And I was like, I don't think this guy's going to let me rent this car. Because I was like, I had a horrific sunburn, scorched earth sunburn. I want to say top 3, top 5 sunburn in my lifetime. And that's saying something, because I had a lot of burns in my life. I got that fair skin, creamy white, Irish skin. So I can't believe this guy rented me the car, because I was like a little bit of the shakes, You go hard for like 3 or 4 day long holiday weekend, sunburned. Wait, why are you here again? Oh, you crashed your car? Well, here are the keys to a newer, more expensive car. But he gave it to me. It was a hybrid, which kind of freaked me out. I was like, wait, so it takes gas, but do I need to still charge it? I don't know how to charge it. I'd have never driven an EV before. But it was interesting to see like the gauges for the EV, like you're saving charge. I was like, oh, sweet. I was like, I caught myself looking at this thing being like, oh, look how much air charge I'm saving. like, oh, and I press it too hard. Ooh, too much charge. I mean, there wasn't even any charge left in it. So, but this thing was dangerously comfortable. I'm talking like a spaceship. Just, I didn't feel a single bump or pebble in the road. I was gliding I picked it up, Tuesday morning? I had to take it back Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This is 3 or 4 days, 3 full days of just living the high life. I was just like, okay, this is what I'm missing out on. Because my Mazda CX-5 is an upgrade. over the shit show that was the Ford. I don't even know if it was not a Fiesta, like Ford Focus or something like that. It was just a garbage car. We got it from some rundown lot where like the parking lot can barely fit the length of a car. So it's like spilling out over the curb onto the street. Like that kind of, like the office where they do the deals was basically like a shack, like a little mini hut, you know, that you would see at like the docks on a wharf. you know, it's just like, or where you dump, it's just a very ramshackle type of operation. So that should have been clue number one. Like, this is not a great car. This is not going to be a good car. I can't believe we agreed to buy that car. What a waste of money. Although when we did sell it back to another dealer, they paid way above what we thought they would. So I guess but we also put a lot of money into that thing, fixing it. Ugh. I think we bought it for like $8,000, and then we put another probably $6,000 into it. So it's $14,000 total. And then I think we sold it for maybe a little over $5,000. So it's like, But this Mitsubishi Outlander was just smooth, just like a silk. And I remember I picked up my daughter from school on Wednesday, and she was like, "Whose car is this?" And I was like, "It's my car." Trying to get her to like, "Well, you got a new car?" And I'm like, "No, I can't lie to you. It's not a new car. It's a car that I'm allowed to have because the car, remember we got in the accident, and I'm gonna, and she's like, "So can we keep it?" I'm like, if we make, Canada's closer. We could probably get through Mexico before the wall is built. Canada might be a little bit harder to get into. Let's just make a run for it. But I got so many letters from lawyers. Insane. I want to say 5 or 6 letters from different lawyers being like, do not pay your ticket. Talk to us first. Free consultation. And then it was saying something like, and then a flat fee of $250 and we'll fight it in court. And I'm thinking to myself, what are the odds that I end up doing this, get a lawyer, we go to court, and it doesn't get thrown out. So now I'm down $250 plus the ticket plus the whatever court expenses. I'm sure the judge is like, you wasted my time. That's $1,000. So I was like, I'm passing the lawyers. I mean, the ticket was like $86, which, I've had tickets for hire for much less. So I think that wasn't as big a blow as it was to pay $1,000. Although when I went to pick up my car to pay for it, I think the guy was in just as bad of headspace as I was, because he's like, all right, that'll be $500. And I'm thinking to myself, whoa, it's supposed to be $1,000. He told me 500. Like, I'm not going to tell him it's 1,000. So I'll just go with it. It's 500. Yeah, why not? So I give him a card. He hands me the paperwork, and it's like a woman's name and a totally different car, totally different repair invoice, whatever. And I was just like, hey, I'm sorry, but I think you gave me the wrong invoice or like the wrong whatever. He's like, okay. Well, all right. Well, I got it. So he goes, gets my paperwork, comes back, and he's like, so it'd just be another 500. And I'm like, so it doesn't matter. Like, you can just do that. It doesn't, for accounting purposes. Like, my head was in a pretzel. I was like, but wait, don't you have to, isn't that charge tied to that account? And now you have to, and he's just, nah. We'll figure it out. It sounds like this is a credit card charge, not like cash. So, hey, it's not on me. But it looks brand new, that right panel. I mean, it was like basically right above the wheel well on the front right, like huge indentations, scratches, black marks. And then the car door somehow, I guess because it got smushed in, it pushed that panel in tighter to where the door was. Door opens and it just was like, so it never didn't surprise me every time I opened that door or someone opened that door. It always threw me off like, whoa, oh my God, we're under attack. So something I did not need in my life, but I was driving probably as carefully as I could possibly drive in that Outlander. But when you just do a little, like when you just tap the gas pedal and it's like takes off, I don't know what you want me to do there, guy. Like it was a bit of a boat too. It's bigger than the Mazda CX-5, I believe. And man, but it was like the turn radius was amazing. In terms of like parking, perfecto. I cannot speak more highly of this freaking car than I can. I was like, and it got the wheels turning. I was like, well, maybe if I just trade in the Mazda CX-5, maybe I can get this and affordable. And then I'm thinking to myself, there's no way. Even the most cheap. I just read an article. It was like even the dealerships know that people want cheaper cars, so they're making all the cheaper cars way more expensive. It's like, oh, cool. Got to pay $35,000 for a Honda Civic. Cool. So that was the accident. Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't request the Outlander. It was just given to me. I was just like, all right, sweet. I think my daughter was in love with it. I mean, she has to go from rags to riches every 2 days. You know, like her mom drives some kind of ridiculous Range Rover that's like over $100,000, and that thing I rode shotgun in that once for when we all got together for Halloween, and man, that thing again, spaceship. And so she goes from that riding in the lap of luxury to my shit box where it's just like, why is it so hot in here? Well, the AC's broken. Why doesn't the radio work? You got me. Might have been that raccoon that got in the engine because I don't have a garage. I have to park it outside where it bakes or freezes as the weather goes. So that was the accident, man. That really, because we ended up going to that food festival, and man, I couldn't talk. I was just stone faced the entire time. And I was just I was like half an eye on her as she's going on the bouncy house and running around and, you know, trying to have fun. And I'm just standing there like, kind of half looking into the clouds, like, is the answer up there? Where is the answer? What is the message that is being sent to me right now? Be more present. Well, apparently I didn't learn that lesson because I'm staring off in the distance, thinking about the steep slide that I'm on right now. We're talking steep. This is one hell of a downfall for your boy. The decline that I've been on. It's just like, when was I on top of the world? I was never really on top of the world, but boy, off a cliff I've gone. Yeah, so that took me a while to get over. But once you get through all the paperwork, I mean, like a week or two later, once you get through all the paperwork and it's all fixed and it's all done with, it's like, now, you know, just gotta, I don't know. Assume I already did assume the worst in people when they're driving. Like I constantly, I'm the guy that has his hand primed on the horn because I just know, you know, you're gonna do something stupid. There's like one curve. I've talked about this before, but there's one bend as you enter into my complex. Like as you go towards my complex, there's a bend, and there's a turn off for like a very popular high traffic shopping center. You know, I got Trader Joe's, Chipotle, Liz, a barbecue place, Fidelity. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff there. So there's people coming in and out of Starbucks. And so there's a stop sign there. And so people will always stop and look. I would say the vast majority of them do not look both ways. They stop and then they go. So they don't ever think about, because I think maybe the majority of people that are coming down this, from the major intersection where the big light is, coming around the bend, I think that people think that they're always going to turn right into the shopping center. So they just automatically assume, he's going right. And I can't tell you how many accidents I've come close to having in that little intersection. There's another intersection by my daughter's school where it's like, I know this is one block from a light, but we need to have a light here or permanent crossing guard. Because no matter how, if you were to, and this is the other thing, I mean, you want to talk about old man ranting at the clouds. Why is it that we're supposed to stop at the white line, right? There's a white line that you're supposed to stop before. You're not supposed to go over it. But if you stop at that line and you try and look to see who's coming, you're flying blind. There's no way you're seeing anyone coming down the road in either direction. So then you have to creep up until you're basically in the road to see when people are coming. And then that's when the swerves happen. And then you got beeps and waves and fingers flying. Whew. But yeah, same thing with this bend right before my complex. It's like, how many times have people pulled out right in front of me? Just either didn't see me or didn't care. And oof. So can't wait for this. The self-driving cars can't come quick enough, folks. The autonomous cars, there was one that delivered itself to its new owner. And I've talked about it before on another episode where my daughter's 6. By the time she's driving age, I don't think you can drive any cars. It's just all going to be self-driving cars or teleportation tubes or the apocalypse. And cars, there's no gas, there's no cars, there's no people. It's just bunkers. So, but the self-driving cars, sign me up, dude. I have no interest in driving anymore. I really don't. I don't get any, there's some people, probably my brother-in-law, some other people where it's like, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to do this and I do that and bad. And it's like, yeah, I'm not going to lie. That stuff's cool. But that will be the new entertainment and recreation is we're going to introduce self-driving cars so no one can drive anymore. And then if you want to, you can go to an open field, a track, a obstacle course, and then you can still drive and do that kind of shit. That I'll sign up for in a heartbeat. And as long as it's I'll sign a waiver and then any damages, that's on you. But in terms of daily, everyday driving around this place, I'm out. Self-driving car, you are up. Also got the peepers checked out. Went to my eye care appointment. I ran out of contact lenses. Finally, I placed an order for contact lenses. It was bulk order. So it was probably cool. $900, $800, and $900 for a year, basically a year's supply, 360 days worth of contact lenses. Cause it just makes sense. And so I ran out and I was about to run out. And so I was trying to ration my contact lenses. So it was a lot of eyeglass wearing. Went to this Lens Crafters at the mall down the street from me. And my eye doctor is a quiet man. He is a robust man. And I don't think he is very much into standing up or walking around. And he had a rolling chair, and that was an interesting visit. And of course, I don't know how this happened. I went there for contact lenses. He gave me a trial pair of contact lenses to try on. And he's like, okay, here's your prescription for contact lenses. I then go to the front. They have it. They give it to me. Great. We can sell you them. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm going to buy them through Warby Parker because that's my fraternity brother's company. Got to support the cause. Bros before hoes. And submit the prescription. They're like, this is an eyeglasses prescription. I'm like, no, dude. Disagree. So that delayed the contact lenses for a good 2 3-4 weeks. Oh my God. But yeah, I don't want to talk ill about this guy. Debating whether or not I should talk about it. And now a call. Huh. Okay. Alrighty then. I also had a vocational rehab appointment. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Department of Vocational Rehab. It's for people who are struggling to get a job and that have like, I want to say disabilities or impairments where it like prevents them from getting a job, or like they can't keep a job because of the impairment or the disability. And so I was like, all right, well, I've been diagnosed with depression, anxiety. So maybe maybe they'll help me out. You know, I'm literally pulling every lever and every string, every possible plan of action I'm taking. It does not matter. There's nothing beneath me at this point because we're going on almost a year now. And it's just like, there is bleak. There doesn't seem to be a lot of a silver lining or anything on the horizon. But I was like, all right, let's try this now. Vocational rehab, sure. So I go in. First of all, I don't know if this needs to be said. It probably doesn't need to be said. And I'm sure the people that work there already know this, and I'm stating the obvious. But goddamn, that building, that government building, is it the New Jersey Department of Motor Vehicles? No, it's the Career Center. It's one of the most depressing places on the planet. It's just like, I can't imagine working there. It is just like the grayest of the grays, the most beige of the beige, with like little to no decorations, and the decorations that are there are depressing. It's just like, I don't know. It just feels like that's where dreams go to die. It's like, that's like the end of the road. So I was like, yep, this feels right. So, you know, go for my appointment. I talk with the woman assigned to me, and she's like, all right, well, walk me through your professional experience. What brings you here today? Like, why are you here? What made you leave your last job? I was like, well, I didn't want to leave my last job. It was mass layoffs. And she was like, well, what about the job before that? And I was like, mass layoffs. And then she was like, and the job before that? And I was like, I told her what happened. And then, okay. And she's like, and then before that? And I was like, say it with me, mass layoffs. She's like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, I get a real kick out of telling people, you know, once they hear three of the four past positions I've lost due to mass layoffs, people get a real, it's really fun for me. It's sad, but it's fun for me because I get to see their reaction. Like, dear God, like they start to think, oh, this person's cursed. And now he's brought this on me. Now I'm vexed. I've caught what he has. Shit. But, yeah, just answered a bunch of questions, gave her a bunch of information. And then I guess I'm supposed to hear from her in the next week or so about what they can do. But she's like, have you ever thought about working for the government? And I was like looking around the room that we were in. Everywhere I walked around in this building, it was just like, it's like the stale aroma or stench of death. It just felt like death. Like, this is where I die. Like, this is like, there's probably so much asbestos in this place. It's just neglected. Like, it somehow is still operational because it's funded by the state or I don't know. But how this thing is surviving, it's got no budget whatsoever. It's like, can I borrow a pen? Yes, but you have to give it back. You cannot take that pen. Okay, yeah, I got it. So we'll see if anything comes from that. But when she was like, you ever thought about working for the government? I was like, you know what? At this point, yeah. If it means like you cannot fire me. Of course, this is right around the same time that, you know, the Department of Government Efficiency made their debut and just slashed and cut and severed and terminated a whole bunch of people in the federal government. So I was like, I don't even think government jobs are safe now. Sweet. And then to go from that, the vocational rehab appointment where it's just like, this is banana land. All right. I guess I have to pause. So I went to a job fair. This is the first job fair that I've ever been to. It's possible that I might have walked past a job fair when I was in college. Didn't stop at no booths, was not getting catcalled, was not pursued at college. So this was the first, I've entertained the idea of going to a job fair, but I've always kind of chickened out or been like, it's not worth it. I don't think that there's anything there for me. But I decided, all right, you know what? This is what scraping the bottom of the barrel looks like. This is where I'm at. This is, I have to exhaust all possible options. Every single one, no matter what. It's just like, dude pulls up in a windowless van, pops open the back, says, here's a lollipop. I'll tell you about a job opportunity. I'm like, all right, let's ride. So went to the job fair at the mall. It was in right smack dab in the middle of this gigantic mall where like all the heavy traffic is. And I decided that I was going to go because my printer's on the fritz. Why not? Go to Staples and pay $45 to print out 20 resumes. Go to the mall, dress to the nines, which for me is like a 4 in the fashion world. Button down shirt, cufflinks, tie, pants, nice suit pants. Didn't wear the suit jacket. And then my nice dress shoes. Got there with my little messenger bag, looking all professional and shit. And there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 7 or 8 tables lined up in a semicircle where they just greet you right as you come down the escalator. So I'm on the top floor going down the escalator and I look, and as I'm coming down the escalator, I immediately say to myself, this was a huge mistake. This was a giant mistake. I was the only person that dressed up. Like the people behind manning the tables who were there to hire or get leads for new hires, they didn't really dress up. And none of the other people that were there for the job fair, which I think I was the only person that was actually there for the job fair, like as a candidate. I think everyone else was just like, hey, what the, people walking by and like, mesh tank top, swim shorts and Crocs. Like, hey, what's the deal here? What are you selling? And they're like, no, this is actually a job fair, sir. You're getting your Haagen-Dazs on my table. So, I was like, oh, this is immediately a mistake. And I kind of looked at the companies that were listed for this job fair. And I was like, all right, well, maybe there's one. Maybe there's one that I could possibly turn this a little glimpse of hope. Here are the companies that were there, that were hiring. Comfort Keepers of Robbinsville. Bayada, which I believe is like a senior living or healthcare company. Okay. Home healthcare. So, you need an in-home caretaker. Bayada is your source. The New Jersey Department of Corrections, New York Life, Princeton Federal Credit Union, Luxury Bath NJPA, Carnegie Assisted Living, Window Nation, NJ Relay, Donnelly Media. Oh, man. And, you would think, what's Comfort Keepers, Neal? Great question. I already forgot. In-home care. Yeah. So we had 1, 2, 3 companies that were there for like basically in-home care or assisted living. for the elders, for the seniors, which, you know, we need to treat them right. We need to treat them with respect. They've given us so much. Thank you for your service. But I don't know if I'm quite there yet. I'm basically on the precipice of being a senior myself, and I think I need in-home care. So I don't know if I'm the right person to bring on talent-wise. New York Life, Princeton Federal Credit Union, luxury bath, window nation. The one company, I think it was Carnegie Assisted Living, maybe it was another company. They're like, so what are you interested in? What do you want? What do you do? What's your specialty? What's your expertise? And I said, digital content strategy. And she's like, oh, we don't have a website. I'm like, well, that's going to be hard, but maybe I can launch one for you. Maybe. That should have been the line. And of course I just was like, you don't have a website. It's 2025. What's happening? The majority of people, when I approached the table, every single person looked shocked and surprised. Like, wait, there are going to be actual people here looking for jobs and want to be hired, and they're going to dress up? What? Just complete disbelief across their face. So, Donnelly Media, she took my resume, she put a star on it, and said, I'm going to hand this to some people. That was, 3 months ago? I'm like, why did you have to do that right in my face? I'd rather you just do what all the other people did and say, like, thanks, and immediately toss my resume in the trash can. Just don't give me any hope at this point. What are you doing? She took the resume and put a star on it. It made me feel special, tingly inside, and warm, fuzzy. Only for what? Like, what? You just didn't, what? What happened? Why did you do that? Why would you do that? It's torture, motherfucker, torture. There was, I think NJ Relay is like for the hearing impaired, where it's a special phone system or something. The woman that was, I keep saying manning the booth. I don't know what else to say. It's like she was the one who was kind of at the table, stationed at the table. She was hard of hearing. I think she was deaf. And so she was talking to me and it was kind of hard to understand her. And I was talking in a way that maybe someone who's hard of hearing or has hearing loss might find to be patronizing. Maybe. I don't know if she took offense to it, but I was really emphasizing what I was saying because she reads lips. She's probably like, all right, jerk off. You don't need to be like that. So I was like, well, maybe my mom will get some use out of this. I don't know. Window Nation. Like, well, we don't really have a digital team. Like, how do your businesses exist in the year 2025 when you have zero digital strategy? How is that possible? You just set up shop right at the off ramp of the highway and flag them down as they come down the ramp. What's the strategy here? So the Department of Corrections woman, I went last to that one because I was just like, I don't think that anything's going to happen here, but who knows? You got to play to win, right? So I approach and she's in full like prison guard garb, full uniform. And she's looking at me and I'm looking at her. I'm like, we're about to have this conversation. It's really not going to go anywhere, but I feel like you never know. So I was like, hey, so I know I don't look like the kind of person that would normally approach you about this, but are you looking for a digital content strategist? She's like, no, I think it's through the state and like they have an agency and I don't know the name of it. And I felt like she was saying, and to be honest, I don't want anything to do with you or your resume or being responsible for relaying any kind of message. So thanks for your time. The New York Life table was insane. It was like, I go up there and it's like, I know New York Life. I've been approached by New York Life so many goddamn times because they just want salespeople. That's all they want. People to call and get people to sign up for the freaking life insurance. And so that's what they were there for. That's what they're looking for. And I was like, so you don't need any digital content strategists? What's your digital strategy? No. And she's like, nope, just salespeople. And it was like maybe a couple days later, they're looking for like a digital content strategist. I was like, you some bitch. How are you going to do me like that? In the mall, no less. The mall, the perpetual place of hope. So, yeah, the Princeton Federal Credit Union, they were like, so I forget how we got there, but they were like, so what are you doing? You're not currently working? What are you doing? And I was like, well, I have a podcast. Like, oh, what's it called? And I'm like, Giant Mess. Like, what's it about? It's like, well, Giants football, Mets baseball, movies, TV, comedy. And it's like, oh, my boyfriend might like that. I'll tell him about it. I'm like, I mean, this whole adventure expedition is a great success if I can pick up a listener, because those are tough to come by. But yeah, I mean, it was like all in all, in and out, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops. It was just like, that's, people want people to sell or take care of the elderly. That's it. Sell, elders sales. If I could just get into the elder sales business. Here we have Bernice, 84 years young, can still play gin rummy with the best of them. So, yeah, that was the job fair at the mall. And people are like, wow, Neal, you really hit a new low. It's like, I don't know. When you're down there, at the bottom of the barrel, at rock bottom, you got to explore a little bit. Every little nook and cranny, every little crevice, see what's around the corner, dude. You never know. So I was like, I mean, this is where I'm at. Vocational rehab job fairs at the mall. Like, just trying. Like, there was a A1 limousine has a hiring now sign with their phone number. And so I was like, I go on their website to look at what positions they're hiring for. And I actually was almost like talking myself into the possibility of being a limo driver, and like all the it would not pay well at all. I would barely be able to survive on it, if that. But man, the stories, I would imagine that the stories would be enough to at least produce a book or a script. So I had that fantasy, and it just got shut down because they're looking for mechanics. Like, okay. But yeah, dire straits, my friends, dire straits. LinkedIn is just a procession of like people who are thrilled. They're in the minority. People who are thrilled. When's the last time you were thrilled? Like, thrilled. I don't think I've ever said I'm thrilled ever. And that's all I fucking see on LinkedIn. And my feed is like, I'm thrilled to share. I'm thrilled to announce. I'm thrilled. It's like, I don't think you know what thrilled means. Have you ever watched Michael Jackson's Thriller music video? Okay, that's thrilling. Because there's a thriller. So, yeah, thrilled. You're either thrilled or it's like a sob story just like mine, but maybe 10 times worse. Like, I've been looking for a job for 2 years. I had to sell my house and my children. I now live in a van down by the river. It's like, all right, well, I can't help you, but I'll press this button that says support. Does that make you feel better? So, I want to cancel LinkedIn so bad, but they do have some good perks. It's like I get to use an AI service for free. There's some learning courses there. Taking the one learning course where it's taught by a dude named Oz du Sulil. And he's like, he has a really dope voice and he's just got a cool aura. I don't know. I haven't been able to pay attention to a single thing he said, but damn, he sounds cool. So That's on the personal front. Toxic parenting phrases. Let's talk about them. Toxic parenting phrases are statements that can be emotionally damaging to children, often used by parents who exhibit controlling, manipulative, or neglectful behavior. Looking at you, huh? Yeah, you in the back. These phrases can erode a child's self-esteem and confidence, may lead to feelings of guilt, inadequacy, and anxiety. Boy, I mean, what isn't toxic at this point? Goddamn. Phrases that belittle or compare. Quote, why can't you be more like your insert sibling, friend, etc.? I mean, that's a valid question, dude. Why can't you be like more like so-and-so? And what's his face? They have a job. You're so adjective, lazy, sensitive, clumsy. So I don't think I've ever used why can't you be more like your da-da-da-da. I've probably said it to my niece or nephews. And I think I've heard my sister say it too. But it's not in a, it's just like, hey, look at so-and-so. Look at that freaking angel over there. Why, on God's green earth, can't you just be a little bit like that? So I don't know. It's like, it's not to belittle or compare. It's just like, hey, see that? Do that. I don't think I've ever said anything negative. Like I'd say you're so mean to my daughter sometimes because she does some mean stuff, man. Gotta let her know. Gotta call her out on her bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Can't just let that shit slide because that's the past. Got something brand new by that ass. You're just like your parent, family member. I think I said this to my ex-wife. I was just like, you're just like your mom. You're going down the same path and road as your mom. Is it the path you want to go down? It's like, dude, not helping. You're a disappointment. I don't think I would ever. I've had people tell me that all the time. That's just like going on the gravestone. That's tombstone material. It's just a forever disappointment. Like, I can't believe people are still disappointed in me. Haven't you learned your lesson? Come on now. We're talking 40 plus years of disappointment. Phrases that invalidate or dismiss feelings. Stop being so dramatic, sensitive. I don't think I've ever said that to my daughter. I've said stop repeatedly, and she has trouble and a problem and an issue stopping. It's just I could throw up all the stop signs, red lights, and flares I want. It's just no go. I got third base coaches, just both hands up. Stay up, stay up. You shall not pass. And she just continues and continues. So hoping to nip that in the bud somehow. But yeah, I guess stop is also just saying stop is toxic. I guess I should be more positive and say, I feel like you would be better off doing something other than what you're doing. It just feels so like all this feels so unnatural. It's just like instinct. A lot of these I'm not saying I say all these phrases, but it just feels like a lot of these phrases are just instinct, and it's like the first thing that comes in your mind. And maybe that's the case of like it's the trickle down effect, or you absorbed it from your parents. So your parents said it, so now you say it. I definitely catch myself saying stuff to my daughter that my parents said to me, and I'm just like, oh, God damn it. It definitely got in there, didn't it? Still rattling around in there. Cling, 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 cling. Please, phrases that invalidate or dismiss feelings. Stop being so dramatic sensitive. I'll give you something to cry about. If I have said this, it's a complete 1000% joke meant in jest. Like I probably have said it to make fun of the people who do say that in all seriousness. I'll give you something to cry about. You're overreacting. That's just a statement of fact. You are overreacting. Pull it back. Okay? Let's bring it down a notch. I don't know if I've said you're overreacting. I think I've said something to the effect of like, hey, your reaction is extra. because different generation, that's what they understand. That's their lingo. No, I think I've said like, hey, why are you, it's like over the years, I know people think, well, he says he's a quick learner, but does he really learn? Like, it just feels like he keeps making the same mistakes and he's not really learning from the mistakes and he's still in the same place he was 20 years ago. But I disagree. I think now there are things that I know that I would have said, no questions asked, just unfiltered, just boom, said it. When I was with my ex-wife, when we were married, that I catch myself starting to say to my daughter, and then I put a nice little stop to it, kind of rewind it, and just trying to recalibrate and reformulate, and then try and deliver it in a way that's so she doesn't get upset, but still tough. So it's not like you're overreacting. It's, hey, remember yesterday when like you got waffled in the arm with a wiffle ball bat and you didn't cry, but now you're crying because I gave you 4 nuggets instead of 3. Like, where's the, something's not, Or when I said the movie we were trying to watch is Sing 1 and you said, no, that's Sing 2. And I said, no, it's Sing 1. And you threw a fit. Like, okay. You don't understand, quote unquote, you don't understand, dismissing the child's perspective. I mean, let's be honest, children don't understand. You know who else doesn't understand? Parents just don't understand. So who does understand? Nobody. Phrases that manipulate or guilt trip. I brought you into this world, so, I mean, that's just a wild thing to say to a child. I don't think I'd ever... I brought you into this world, especially as a dude. Like, as I could see a mom. Moms have way more right to say it than dads. But like as a dad, it's like, when would I ever say that? I brought you into this world. So it's like, I didn't have much of a choice. Your mom thrust upon me. Quote unquote, after all I've done for you. After all I've done for you. I kind of say that in a very like lighthearted way to her, you know, when she does something that's kind of mildly like where I can see it proceeding down a really bad path. Like, okay, you've taken for granted what I've done for you over the course of this weekend. Like, let's not forget, I know you're calling this current instance of what's happening unfair, but like, given what I've done for this week and this weekend, I think let's just let this one go. Okay. So, I might go after all I've done for you, but that's, I typically, I guess that's what you call a self-defense mechanism, where it's just like, you know, I'm trying to make it lighthearted, but at the same time, it is something that is serious. You know what I mean? So I'll say it in a funny voice, because it's like I can't bring myself to say it in a serious voice. But I also want her to know that it's not that big a deal, but it's big enough a deal, you know? Like, I don't want her to get too butthurt about it, but I do want her to register it. So maybe the humor, even though that might not resonate because she thinks, oh, it's a joke. Yeah, I got a lot of work to do. Quote, here's another one. You should be grateful for what you have. I mean, how the fuck is that toxic? I hate that that's considered toxic, because it's like, yes, you should be grateful for what you have. I mean, the fact that we can't go anywhere without her saying, can I have that? Can I have this? Can I have that? Can I have this? Can I have that? Can I have this? And then when I say, I have to say no a lot of the time. And she goes, oh, you never get me anything, or I never get this, or never. And it's like, just be grateful for what you have. I mean, I've talked about it before. The Bluey Hammer Bond story from the 5 Minute Stories book, based on the Hammer Barn episode, where it's like, the moral of the story is be grateful for what you got. Be happy with what you've got. Don't always be chasing what your neighbor has. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. And And, just trying to teach her like, hey, be grateful for what you have. Look at everything that you have. Be grateful for that. So you can't say that. It's toxic. Manipulates or guilt trips. It's like, it's not guilt tripping that's like probably the best phrase that you can use is you should be grateful for what you have. Absolutely. Here's another phrase. If you love me, you would. Oof. I might have slipped that into conversation once or twice. It's kind of hard not to bring that out once in a while. Well, if you love me. No, I don't think I've used that. Maybe once. And it was desperate times, man. Called for desperate measures. So, no, I know she loves me. I don't need to bust that out. Phrases that threaten or punish. I'll never trust you again. I mean, trust is a big thing with me. I think I've talked about it with her a couple times, like, basically trying to use the boy who cried wolf. Where like, you need to be honest with me. And if you keep telling me if you keep trying to trick me or telling me something that's a trick or fake or lie repeatedly, and then you actually do tell me something that's true, I'm not going to believe you. So there's like the trust thing. Why would I trust you? Because you've duped me all those times before. I don't know if I've ever said I'll never trust you again. Again, unless I'm trying to be like funny, dramatic. It's like, obviously that's not how I really feel, but I do want to let you know that it's on my mind. Quote, you're grounded forever. I don't know who says that. I don't know anyone who says that. I mean, I don't think I've been grounded very often. I honestly can't remember the last time I was grounded. I assume maybe there was always there were threats for sure. But I was a loser. So it's like, I'm not in high school and growing up, I was pretty much a loser. Or like, so why, you're grounded and it's like, all right, cool. I mean, it's not that much different from what I'm currently doing. But I guess it would be more along the lines of like, no PlayStation. No Nintendo, no Sega Genesis. I'd be like, oh my God, kill me. Or no TV. I wonder if my TV has ever been taken away from me. Might have been. So I didn't get grounded a lot. If it was ever grounding, it was always like revoking of electronics. That's how fucking cool I was. Quote, I wish you had never been born. Whoa. That's an insane thing to say. I'm going to go out on a limb and say you should probably get your parent card revoked after you say that. It's like kind of nuts. And then the last one here, phrases that threaten or punish, you're not allowed to anymore. I mean, I use it as a threat. I do use that as a threat. It's hard not to use that as a threat. Because it fucking works every time, man. Every time where I'm like, oh, well, I guess no book. Oh, I guess no song. Oh, I guess no TV. Oh, I guess no talking to mommy. Like, I guess it's different, but I just, you try your damnedest to not threaten, but it often takes a threat to finally get them to come around. Stinks. Phrases that control or dominate. Quote unquote, you need to, without explanation or consideration, the child's needs. I guess. I don't know. I'm reading that in the wrong context though, because I'm thinking about like every morning. I'm like, well, you need to get your underwear. You need to get a shirt. You need to get pants. You need to get socks. You need to get shoes. You gotta need 4-speed. So I don't know. I guess next time I'll just say, what are your needs? I mean, I guarantee I won't get a actual answer because children don't know what the fuck they need. They can't express that verbally. Wish they could. It would be great. Quote unquote, because I said so. I mean, that is just like, this is where it gets, I don't agree with this because it's like, because I said so is your way of saying I've hit a wall. I've hit a limit. You have exceeded your limit. If you would like more answers, please deposit a coin into the slot. Like, you've now asked me why 25 times in a row, and I've gone as far as I can go down that road. Because I said so, that's a dead end. That's because I don't even know. There's nothing you can do as a kid. Because I said so is the ultimate game ender. Show stopper. Quote, you're not allowed to have an opinion. That's a wild thing to say to a kid. Again, I don't think I would ever say that. That's just like, you're not allowed to have an opinion, dude. I love hearing my daughter's opinions. I love hearing that shit. It's like, you know what? I like rainbows. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Why do you like rainbows? Colors. Wow. That's amazing. So I'm all for opinions, and there are times where she'll say something is gross or whatever, and I try to get more out of her, and she just doesn't know because she's just got that 6-year-old brain. All you know is you don't like it. Okay. Quote unquote, you're not in charge of your own life. Again, I would not drop that on my kid. I want my kid to be empowered. I want her to be able to, I constantly trying to get her to do stuff for herself or on her own, just so she's used to it and so that she's not spoiled or babied or, she can be independent and do things on her own. So you're not in charge of your own life. I want her to be in charge of her own life. I obviously have to put up guardrails, little rubber baby bumpers. I have to put up those kind of guardrails, but I still want her to be in charge of her own life. She just told me the other day, I want to work in an ice cream store. And I was like, hell yeah, dude. All right. She wanted to do a lemonade stand, talking about it all week. She went down to the shore, set up shop, made $40 freaking, which is more than I have made in the past 10, 11 months. Damn, homie. So, phrases that express regret or dislike of the child. I wish I never had you. Just literally, dude. I feel like that's it. You're no longer a parent. Hand in your badge and your gun. You are no longer a parent when you say that. You were a mistake, which, if the kid was a mistake. No, obviously. Joke city. But you were a mistake. That's just like, oh, so you want your kid to take bloody vengeance upon ye. That's what you want from your child. You want just absolute pandemonium and some kind of crime committing of the serial kind. Quote, I don't love you. That's just nuts. I can never picture myself bringing myself to say that to anyone. I don't even think I said that to my ex-wife. I don't love you. I don't even think I said I hate you or I don't like you. Oh, to say it to a kid, it's just God damn. Well, that's going to go in the memory bank. Additional phrases to be aware of. Be quiet, which isn't be quiet a little bit better than shut up? What is the alternative? What is the healthier way? So a lot of times the healthier ways are longer. It feels like they're longer. In that case, the kids being loud, maybe you're on an airplane or you're in a church or somewhere where they need to be quiet, a movie theater. And instead of saying be quiet, you're supposed to whisper, get them to make eye contact, hold their hand and whisper to them. The people in this theater or this church or on this plane enjoy silence and the quiet and low volume. Right now, you're being a little loud and you're exceeding the acceptable volume that has been agreed upon by this party. Or you could just say, hey, be quiet. So, I don't know. I guess help them to understand why they need to be quiet. I just don't. A lot of kids, they don't hear that, see? I'm not trying to hear that, see? What your man got to do with me? Stop, which is another one, a phrase to be aware of. It's just I got to figure out a better way around that, I guess. Stop. Cease and desist. That's a good one. That's a little more polished and professional. You're really being formal there. Excuse me, daughter. Cease and desist the biting. I'm going to count to 3. Again, that's a classic, dude. That shit always works. What did you say? Said in a condescending or accusatory tone. Again, I do this in a very dramatic, sarcastic way. When she says something that's out of line, I always go, what did you say? Kind of like Will Ferrell in Anchorman. What did you say? And then usually I kind of bring it back to a little bit more serious tone. I'm like, Bree, you really shouldn't say that. And behave is the last one. So it's like, I guess, it feels like, I don't know, a lot of this therapy, like a lot of this healthy, quote unquote, parenting and like relationship building, it just feels it doesn't feel organic at all. It doesn't feel genuine or authentic. You like actively have to work hard and it comes across that way. Like, oh, I have to, like, I'm now putting in this like crazy amount of effort to communicate to you, and then that doesn't work, and what, you just keep chipping away at it? I don't know, because you know that I'm toxic. Great jam. So those are the toxic parenting phrases. Oh, behave. All right, so that's that. We didn't really get to movies and TV. I hope to review Sinners, Hard Eyes, One of Them Days, Azrael. There was some questions about Star Wars, the Star Wars timeline. Top searched is so-and-so good or bad, like characters that are good or bad. Top search morally gray characters. Most searched character redemption arcs that I wanted to get into. A lot of questions about Star Wars for May the 4th be with you. So I hope to get to that in the next episode. That's it for now, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And man, I wish I could talk about the Mets. I wish I could. I meant to talk about the Mets tomorrow or this week because it's the All-Star break. But yet again, apologies to Matt Damon. We're not going to be, I don't know if we're going to be able to talk about the Metros. I do have a free weekend this weekend, so maybe I'll just do a big old extravaganza recap, what they've been through up until the All-Star break, even with the second quote unquote half of the season starting. I might have to dust off the cleats, my folks, my friends for the Metros, because they could use some arms. So anyone with a working arm, report to Queens. That's it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Talk to you next time. Adios. Muchachos.